Yeah, and this is gonna sound hippy dippy, but don't you feel like different bodies of water have different like energy or different characteristics
Absolutely.
or personalities? Like,
Yeah.
you know, when I got into kayaking, I noticed that if I kayaked on the Wisconsin River, it felt older, more ancient.
Yeah. Yeah. All bodies of water carry a living, moving energy. And yeah, that's neat that you can tap into that and feel that. Absolutely. Some waters are really scary. Like in Hawaii, there's the windward side of the island and then the leeward side of the island. So the windward is, you know, always the aggressive, the scarier, you know, part. And back to my story, she got me off track. I was sailing, and it's interesting because my good friend Mikey, he was a fisherman. He worked on Start Me Out Fishing, which was like a 60-foot Bertram boat, and he wanted to sail. And so I told him every trip in between his charters, if he wasn't going out, to come on aboard, and I'll teach him everything I know. And so anyway, we had a whole summer of sailing together. He was doing such a phenomenal job, and because my boat is such an ultralight racing boat, I say my boat because it felt like my boat. I own the boat.
You take ownership. Right?
You really do.
You
I mean, you really, truly do. But it's because it's so ultralight that I have to be really careful. I'm Coast Guard certified to carry 25 passengers on board. So I had to be really careful with who, if I had a full boat and if they were elderly or if they were kids, because you can lay that boat down really easy. You can bury the rail and you could really give people a really crazy ride, and not everybody, is up for that. So anyway, long story short, the trade winds were just pumping that day. And in Hawaii, when they pump that strong, trade winds always blow north clockwise. And so when they pump, they'll wrap around the island and they'll kind of shoot through the valleys. And we call them knockdown gusts. In essence, they're like gale force winds out of nowhere. And we had a boat full of people. We were kind of sailing in a triangle. It was really swirly wind. And my friend Mikey was at the helm. I was actually up on the bow of the boat with some passengers. And next thing you know, we were shooting through Olu Olu Valley, and a gust had come through, and I knew better because I missed it. I knew to look to make sure, and I missed it. I was talking to some passengers, and next thing you know, that gust hit us, and it was pretty bad. I mean, it knocked our boat right over. We had a gentleman who actually skidded all the way across. And it's non-skid. It's like sandpaper, and he was hanging on the stanchion, actually dragging a little bit in the water. The stanchion is the lifeline, basically, around the sailboat. And he was
That's
hanging.
What it's there for, right?
Right. But you don't want your passenger hanging from it. Oh my gosh, trolling. Yeah, no. And I'm screaming at, to Mikey at the helm. I'm saying, sheet out. And he ended up letting go of the sheet line. And so now not only, it was just a recipe for disaster. It was really scary. Yeah. And needless to say, both the wind edge blew out my mainsail, thank God, and blew, which righted our boat some. And I was able to, drop the main and get to all the action and save the day. But
what do you feel like in that moment?
Horrible. Doing the walk of shame back into the harbor, refunding everybody's money, apologizing. I mean, it was horrible. I felt so responsible, and I learned a ton, and that's what you have to do with these situations, right?
Right.
Take the bad for good and spin it as a lesson, and get back on that horse.
So I bet you never forgot to check that.
Oh, no. No. And in fact, I never would leave the helm on those days. I mean, I trained, taught a lot of, I shouldn't say trained, but taught a lot of people how to sail. And I would never leave the helm. I in some respect, I trusted Mikey. It was partly his fault. I trusted his ability too, a little bit more than I should. So, yeah.